Our next story came to us from a viewer letter, and it couldn't have been an easy letter to write. It's about a young boy's struggle with cancer. His parents wanted to share his story because it may be comforting to anyone who has suffered a loss, especially the loss of a child. Here now is the story of a very special boy named Michael Martin Lynn. It was 1987, and after 8 years of marriage, Patty Lynn had become a mother.
I was 28 when we gave birth to our son, Mikey. It was very exciting to have our baby.
Yeah, it is. You're happy?
It brought in a whole new, different kind of love to our lives. To see that little guy smiling up at you makes you just appreciate life.
If Patty was the typical doting mother, her husband, Marty, was an equally proud father.
Put your feet up on the pegs.
When Mikey was little, he was always doing things that you would not expect a little boy to do. He read everything that he could get his hands on and would memorize the presidents, the states.
George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, and Bill Clinton.
Thank you, Mike. That was fabulous.
He was very, very smart. He could do anything he put his mind to.
And one of the things Mikey put his mind to was baseball.
Mikey loved baseball, and I used to have to sit on a bucket while he pitched baseballs to me hour after hour until he got it right.
Right off the corner of the plate. Caught him swinging.
I felt like he was going to be able to excel at anything he did. He was sitting on his bed and said, "Dad, look at this." And he showed me a lump between his belly button and his lower abdomen.
The doctor looked at him right away and felt that he knew exactly what it was, that it was rhabdomyosarcoma.
9-year-old Mikey had developed an extremely rare and aggressive form of cancer that was attacking his body's connective tissue.
And so once we spoke with the doctor and he told us that it was cancer, we began to weep in front of Mike. And Mike just said, "Don't cry, everything's gonna be okay, just think of happy things." And he wasn't crying, he was trying to comfort us.
They began the chemotherapy, which was just a nightmare, and he got extremely sick. It was just horrible to see a little boy in such agony when there was nothing that we could do for him.
Mikey endured months of chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. Throughout it all, he kept up his good spirits.
After he had had chemo for quite a while, he wanted to go in the yard and throw balls to me. And he tried to throw the ball, and the ball felt like a piece of lead to him. And he was upset and said that he would never be able to throw a baseball again, and he was crying because he was so weak from the chemo.
When your child is hurting, you're hurting. And there was nothing we could do other than try to entertain him in other ways to get his mind off the baseball.
And so they decided to take a family vacation to Lake Tahoe. It was there that his grandfather Lee introduced Mikey to a new sport.
We played golf in Lake Tahoe, his dad and I. Somewhere during the game, Mikey was along with us, and he wanted to pick up a club and try it.
Can I try that?
And we let him play.
Yeah, Mike, here, try it. Okay, Mikey, let me show you how to do this.
Grab this with your left hand, put the thumb straight down.
It was amazing how he hit the ball. He had kind of a natural swing that it was just amazing to us.
Was that okay?
Nice shot.
From that day on, Mikey was hooked on golf. He read every book and magazine he could find, and had a club in hand whenever possible.
Oh, Mike practiced from morning till night. At home, at the putting green, at the driving range. He would practice on the hospital lawn, attached to an IV pole, chipping balls. Golf gave Mike the incentive to get better. He wanted so badly to play golf that he would put his pain aside. He would get out of the hospital one morning and be at the golf course in the afternoon. He was an inspiration to everyone who saw him. Here's this little boy, he has no hair, is weak and pale as could be, and he's out there making golf shots that you couldn't believe.
Mikey won the admiration of other golfers, not just for his talent, but for his courage as well. And so began a special ritual at the golf course.
Most people he had come into contact with when he was playing golf would give him a foreign coin or some special ball marker they were using, and Mike would then use them as good luck ball markers.
As his game improved, so did his health. In January of 1997, doctors confirmed that Mikey's cancer had gone into remission.
That was news that we had just dreamed of. And we thought, you know, let's live life up, because you never know when it could be taken away again.
When he turned 10, Mike went to Pebble Beach, where he played a round of golf and had a great time, shot 90.
Nice putt, Mike.
He was really, really excited about the whole adventure.
Par 5.
Is par 5?
It was a par 4.
Oh, well, that was excellent, though.
No, it's really good.
It was a happy time for the family, but the happiness would be short-lived.
We learned that the tumor came back when we went in for another scan. And at that point, we didn't know what to do. How do we tell that little boy that the cancer had come back? And that we would have to start the treatment all over again.
During the time that Mike started chemo again in '98, he was really getting sick every month, but he would somehow pull himself together to play a monthly tournament.
He would try with every ounce of strength he had to swing that club. And amazingly enough, he was able to muster up enough strength to keep on going. Mike's courage was such an inspiration to us, because he was the one that was suffering, and he was the one that was going through all the pain. We weren't.
But after months of unsuccessful chemotherapy, his body finally gave up.
But he was talking in his sleep about playing golf with his friends, and then he passed away peacefully.
Mike passed away at home, which was our wish. Mike's wish was he didn't want any more pain.
When it was time to bury him, I took his favorite putter and all of his ball markers that I could find in the house and put them all in a bag that he liked to keep everything in, and put everything in the casket.
Mikey was buried in a simple ceremony attended by family and friends. But the sadness for Patty and Marty was just beginning.
After Mike passed on, we suffered. We desperately missed Mike.
We did not know how life was going to be without Mike. It was just a difficult time.
And Mikey was my first nephew, my first sister's child. I started babysitting him when he was about 3 months old. and he was exceptionally special to me.
Lynn visited Mikey's grave often, and it was during one of these visits that something remarkable would happen.
I was taking some flowers up to the cemetery. Nobody was around. And when I came back to my car, there were 3 Canadian coins sitting perfectly on my seat. A quarter, a nickel, and a dime. I thought, where did they come from? And so I picked them up and I left the cemetery and I took them over to my parents and I showed my dad.
She said, what do these got to do with anything? And I immediately saw they were Canadian coins.
I found these.
I said, I know the significance of these coins. We had put those in Mikey's casket, and he put these coins down there for you to give us the message.
It was the first time Lynn had heard that Mikey used Canadian coins as ball markers for his golf game.
And we both became just emotionally overwhelmed that these coins could be there.
The coins couldn't even have fallen out of my pocket or purse because I didn't have any Canadian coins. No one was around. My car was just 4 or 5 feet away. If those had been there while I was driving around, why didn't the coins fall back into the crack of the seat? They were laying flat on top of the seat.
So we thought, this was really strange, but, we didn't give it much thought after that. So then a month or so goes by, and I go out near the putting green because I saw something shiny.
It was another Canadian coin.
It was a scary feeling in the beginning because I didn't know who was doing it.
Marty, did you put this here?
What do you mean?
It's another
It spooked me. I thought somebody was getting in the yard.
Oh my gosh.
Shortly after, more of these Canadian coins kept appearing throughout our house, my sister's house, my parents' house.
The coins were always found lying face up, brand new, and minted in 1998, the year that Mikey died.
To me, I thought someone had been doing it. We tried to talk to other relatives, and no one seemed to know how this could possibly be happening. My house has an alarm system, and you cannot get in the house without the alarm going off.
Daddy, I got another coin.
Who could do it? How was somebody getting in my house to put these coins down, or in my backyard, or in my sister's car, or in my mother's house?
Whatever the explanation, the mystery and the miracle of the coins have given the Lynns a profound sense of peace and comfort.
Finding the coins makes us feel ecstatic. I mean, when you see the coins, your hair stands up. It's like, oh! It takes my breath away.
Patty and I both believe that Mikey must be trying to communicate with us by leaving the coins. There's just no other explanation for it, and it's helped our family get through something that just is unbearable.
This is Mikey's way of showing us that he is around us, he's here, we just can't see him, we can't touch him as much as we want to touch him, but when we get the coins, it's a comfort to us.
For my sister and brother-in-law to have lost their only child, and then to get what we feel is some sort of sign from him that he's okay, is the most miraculous thing that could have happened.
He knew we were hurting here, and he wanted to show us that he's okay. I definitely think it's a miracle. Definitely.